Well, if Fulham and Bournemouth want to retain their hopes of joining the Masters and compete in Europe next season, then they know how important it is to sink this one. It's not quite the four-footer for the Grand Slam, but Fulham in particular might view this as their best chance to join the elite since Roy Hodgson took them to the Europa League final in Danny Murphy's day. Bournemouth have been below par for the last few weeks. It's now 6 Premier League games without a win. A mixture of the mind wavering and getting the yips after establishing leads. Last week they were in front again against West Ham, as they did against Manchester City in the Cup, as they did against Brentford, as they did against Tottenham and Wolves, and didn't win the game. It's become an annoying tick affecting them as the final stretch comes into view. Fulham, well, they've exceeded expectation, but with them it's usually hit or miss. They keep swinging between wins and losses, and that lack of consistency may well cost them dear. They are capable of beating anyone, but they are capable of being beaten by anyone too. Here are the two teams. Let's start with the home side. Bournemouth will make just one change. Zabarnyi is out, Senesi is in. It's Kepa Arriba-Balaga in goal. Adam Smith is the right back, Senesi, Housen and Kirkes the back four. Lewis Cook and Tyler Adams the two holders in midfield, with Semenyo, Scott and Ouattara behind Avanilson in attack. Fulham, the visitors, have Bernd Leno in goal, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson the back four. Lukic and Berger the two holders in midfield, with Pereira pulling the strings behind Iwobi, Sessegnon and Rodrigo Muniz, whose goals per minute, 112 in the Premier League this season, only bettered by Salah and Alexander Isak. Our referee tonight is Michael Oliver. The VAR is Jared Gillett. Michael Oliver, by the way, just been called up to the Club World Cup in the summer as Anthony Taylor. And the Champions League was briefly in the sights of these two, but our eyes will certainly be your ears on Tuesday and Wednesday night in that competition. Then pivotal Europa League action comes your way on Thursday, plus Newcastle's game in hand with Palace is live on TalkSport 2 on Wednesday night. The big nights under the lights that always hit the heights. It's TalkSport on game night. And the former Watford captain Troy Deeney is here as all 22 players take the knee to remind the audience that there is no room for racism. A popular Fulham website described this as the most important game of their season. Troy, how do they take advantage of Bournemouth's injury issues?
I think it's a game that both teams will be really happy with, because the style of play of Fulham is to sit back and counter-attack you, but when they go with pace and power. With Bournemouth, it's to go and get after you. So both of them will be really looking at the clips, both sets of managers, both sets of coaching staff, and going, if we do our game at 10 out of 10, we win. And that makes for a really good game today. I do believe it's a huge game for Fulham in their quest to go and get into European football. But also for both teams, as you alluded to, they can both go and equal the best ever records in the Premier League. So that's just fantastic for them anyway.
Alex Scott picks the ball up after a Fulham attack, peters out and looks to try and charge forward. Semenyo has nabbed it off the feet of Robinson, got into the penalty, a left-footed shot into the bottom corner and scores the opener. It's a terrific start. Just over a minute into the game, Antoine Semenyo with his 10th goal of the season. Not a single player in the Premier League has had more shots than him this season, but that one really counts. He took advantage of a Robinson slip, picked the ball up on the edge of the penalty area, cut inside, and with his left foot curled it in the bottom corner past Bernd Leno, and it's Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0.
Excellent play from Bournemouth. Really poor start from Fulham. Castagna turning the ball over, Berger getting ran past, and it's got just driving in there. As he sees, he looks like he takes a bit of a kick as well, but as he sees Semenyo on the right hand side, he just fires the ball out to him. Anthony Robinson can't sort his feet out. It bubbles its way into Semenyo, cuts him 1v1 with Joachim Anderson. As he gets on that left foot, he just passes it into that far corner. No effort, it just looks so seamless for him. Wonderful start for Bournemouth.
Great start for Bournemouth, who lead by a goal to nil. And inside the first 2 minutes of the game, it's absolutely sensational for them. And we know that styles make fights. And I was about to say, Bournemouth are the type of team that press high, aggressively get on you all over the park. Fulham trying to free up Robinson on the left-hand side and get crosses into the box. And he was doing that down one end, getting a cross into the box. It broke down because of the pressure that Bournemouth put on Fulham inside their own half, and then counter-attacked brilliantly at the other end. And it's 1-0.
I feel like Fulham haven't started though. That just in the start of that, as it comes to Castagna, it's a simple 5-yard pass into Berger, gets that run, puts it between Berger and Lukic, and Scott just breaks through, really drives through, and they should make a foul there. They don't. It just comes. They keep turning the ball over. It just feels that they haven't really started it. Maybe the nerves of this being such a big game is started to show just in their early performances. We're only 3 minutes in, by the way, but every pass has been turned over, and it's just been Bournemouth who have settled really, really well.
And this is a Bournemouth side that don't have Justin Kluivert in their starting lineup tonight, their top scorer, because of an injury. In fact, he's been out for the last couple of weeks with a problem. But they do have Evan Nielsen, and as a result of Kluivert not being in the team, Alex Scott is taking advantage of being in that number 10 position. Given away by Bassi, one back high up by Tyler Adams, and Bournemouth have possession inside the Fulham half of the field again, all the way back to Housen, wearing his gloves despite the short sleeve shirt. That's pretty temperate down here tonight. It's played out towards Cook, who then takes it over the halfway line, feeds it to Kirkes, and then back to Cook on the halfway line towards Senesi, the Argentine, who almost gave it to Muniz, and Adams had to dive in just to stop Muniz from winning that, and it's cleared away by Bournemouth with Housen travelling with it. Dropping deep to pick it up is Semenyo, jinking past two challenges too easily, running into midfield and laying the ball off to Cook. But that is another example there where you would expect Fulham to put in a challenge.
Yeah, you would, but again, just looking at how Fulham are set up, they've gone into a kind of 4-4-1-1 when they're without the ball, and it just allows for Bournemouth to play around. I feel when you play against Bournemouth, you've got to stop their two centre-halves doing this long ball, because what they want to do, they want to play a long ball over the top and then counter-press you as you head it, so win the knockdowns, and if that plays into their strengths at this moment in time, it just feels a little bit disjointed from Fulham, a little bit not all on the same page and wavelength. But they will feel that they've got opportunities in this game, because Bournemouth are only going to do it one way.
Pereira's got the ball out of the sky and sent it out to Iwobi, who flips across into the near post. It wasn't a great delivery, and Housen dealt with that. Lukic trying to win it back, but then as the ball comes to Adams, he immediately releases Scott, who gets it up the pitch, then into Evan Nielsen, and then Scott is cantering away down the right-hand side with Ouattara waiting in the near post area, but he's gone too close with his cross into the centre of the box, and after rushing that, Alex Scott has only found Bernd Leno's hands. But another example of what Bournemouth can do on the counter-attack if you give the ball away.
And exactly what we said would happen in the first minute or so. It's a perfect team, because Fulham want to sit and bank in, but if you turn the ball over, this Bournemouth team is going to go at you, because they're going to force you to play passes a lot quicker than you want to, and at this moment in time they're just stopping the play, making it really disruptive for Fulham to get into a flow. And now, because they have the ball, Fulham can't go and press because they've got a goal up, so they're trying to get a little 5-10 minute spell of foothold in the game to not allow this Bournemouth team to get ahead of steam. But really they need to be going after this Bournemouth back line and stopping them from playing the long ball. But at the moment, 5 minutes in, it's all playing into Bournemouth's hands.
Well, the good news for Marco Silva is, and I mentioned this sort of in the first few moments before the commentary, is that in recent weeks they've just been throwing away leads for fun, Bournemouth. So they've dropped 7 points from winning positions in the last 4 Premier League games. That will give them a little bit of heart as Smith comes forward down the Bournemouth right, over the halfway line, and then back into midfield for Semenyo. Across to Senesi, who takes a couple of strides into the centre circle, engaged by Pereira, and sends it on to Cook, who just drops in the sort of left full-back area. He's playing in midfield tonight. Had a little spell at right back this season. Long ball forward by Kepa Arrizabalaga, away by Robinson, and then Adams turns it over after Berger had picked it up, and now it's with Ouattara down the left for Evan Nilsson, edge of the penalty area, going on the outside of the defender, trying to squeeze it through his legs, but Anderson did enough to block it, and it bounces inside the 18-yard box, and it's taken away to safety by Sasa Lukic. But there's another example of exactly what you're talking about. The long ball forward, the ball into midfield, that means you have to rush very quickly to play the ball, and then you give it up because they're all over you, Bournemouth.
Absolutely, and I think that's why Tyler Adams and Christie for the large part of this season have been so underrated, because it's Tyler Adams again. He's in that defensive role, but as soon as that ball goes over his head, he's front-footed, he goes and presses, gets after the ball, and Berger at this moment in time hasn't been able to just have any foothold in the game, hasn't been able to get hold of it because he's just been turning it over, and again he's running through.
Yeah, he's gone past Lukic, who dived in and completely missed the ball, and Adams kept his feet and then just maybe overhit the pass into the direction of Alex Scott, who was running down the inside right channel, and it floats out of play and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. But he's been impressive actually, Tyler Adams, bearing in mind that Ryan Christie has been terrific alongside him over the course of the season, and I think there was a little bit of an eyebrow raise when they brought him in from Leeds United. He didn't pull enough any trees at Leeds United. He always seemed to be getting injured, but he's in rare form at the moment, and his fitness and the way he covers the ground has been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking down to our left at Marco Silva, he's very animated, and trust me, I've been on the end of them shouting matches a few times. It's quite intimidating. But what he's asking for his team, Calvin Bassey just had the ball off the goalkeeper, does a lovely Cruyff, and he's looking up for someone to play to. But without Raul Jimenez there's no willing runner from the striker in behind. So he's having a real big chat with Muniz to not only look after the ball like he does really well here, but without the ball you've got to run and stretch his Bournemouth backline.
Pereira profiting from that lateral run from Muniz, who did take it into his chest and then ran perpendicular to the penalty area, laid it off to Pereira, who's got it again just right side of the centre circle, takes a little flick as it goes into the penalty area, comes down to Sessegnon after the clearance by Hausen, and snaffled away by Kerkez, who does brilliantly under pressure from Sessegnon, then just drops to the floor and says, I was fouled, ref, and the free kick is given just left of the penalty area away to our left hand side. It's been a dramatic fall for Bournemouth, really. They were 7th, 1 point off 4th place in the Premier League on January the 31st, but a disastrous run has seen only the current bottom 3 accumulate fewer points since February the 1st. That's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I do feel their performances were really good, though. I watched a few times. They were very good. Very, very good. Just missing that moment, whether it's scoring a goal or not making a mistake to turn the ball over, which ended up in them losing a goal. So I think the manager on a whole throughout the course of this season will be very happy with their overall performance and the totality of this season. But now it's that final push, and I spoke about this a lot of times. When you come back off international break, you want to then go, right, the last one, you go, 10 games left. And no matter what, if you're winning or not, you go after 9 left. And you just start ticking them off now. So it's one big push, and I feel that Bournemouth and Fulham will feel that this is one huge push for them to go forward.
Ball headed forward to Evan Nilsson, edge of the area, takes it down from Ouattara. Good challenge by Bassey, it's cleared away by Fulham. It was an unnecessary one as well. Now it's sent out to the right-hand side, and Sessegnon is trying to get past Kerkez. Kerkez sticks with him. He gets down the outside of the penalty area and then cuts back in on his left foot. Needs someone to play the ball to. Keeps dribbling towards the byline. Now pulls it through the box looking for Pereira. It's cleared away by Senesi, and then there was a push in the back by Castagna, and a free kick is given on the edge of the box by the referee. Our referee tonight, Michael Oliver.
Magic Mike is in the middle. I do think when you just watch Fulham, and I'm just looking down at Marco just down to our left, he's screaming because they keep turning the ball over. Every single time they have an opportunity, they turn the ball over because it's a simple pass, a simple header in this case from Lukic, who could just go back inside from a throwaway, tries to flick it in to Berger, turns the ball over again. Mark will be really disappointed that Bournemouth aren't working too hard to actually open up this Fulham team at this moment in time.
Big game tonight, by the way, over on Talk Sport 2. Hugh Wilsoncroft is there with Mark Wilson and Chris Iwalemo, because in the Championship tonight it's Hull versus Coventry City. It's 0-0. Frank Lampard watching from the sidelines, having been banned from the touchline today, but it's a huge match for both Hull and Coventry City, who can put a bit of distance between those teams just below them in the playoff places if they were to get a victory away tonight. Here is Sessegnon far side, just played that behind Castagna, cut out rather easily by the Bournemouth defence, and Esti's got it upfield and into the path of Scott. Scott's tried to release Dongo with Tara on the far side, but it's cut out by Anderson. Anderson into midfield, and now Berger back to Lukic and then back to Anderson again. That big diagonal's coming out towards the left, and Robinson who's looking for another assist, which will be a record breaker. He sends a cross into the box off the chest of Smith, and it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, look, again, that ball, as you say, is the out ball, but Marco, again, is really, really fascinating. So I'm just watching him. He's not happy with his two midfielders because they're playing really safe passes, go side to side or going backwards, and the out ball is Robinson every single time. So as that's dropped back to Anderson there, you called it before he'd even done it. You knew that big diag was coming because he is the outlet. They need to do that a lot more.
Here is the corner taken by Pereira, right-footed into the near post, poor delivery, headed away by Smith and out for a throw-in on this near touchline. Robinson, by the way, needs just one more assist in Fulham's remaining 7 games to set a new Premier League club record for the most assists in a season, beating the 10 recorded by Steve Malbronk.
Oh, what a name that is.
2003-2004. Here is Iwobi on the left side, high up inside Bournemouth territory, cuts in right-footed, sends it long into Sessegnon, tries to take it out of the sky. Touch wasn't clean enough, and it goes behind him and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that you can stream the biggest Premier League games available at no contract with Now, like Bournemouth versus Fulham live right now. Search Now Sports. Troy Deeney is with us tonight, and he's actually been spending the day on the sunshine south coast, haven't you? Yeah, revelling in what is it, about 13 degrees sunshine?
It's lovely, isn't it? My first time down here, not working.
Is it?
Yeah, so I brought the wife and the kids down.
And we're not paying you for this?
It doesn't feel like it after the bill that I got for lunch.
Semenyo on this near side into Adams, across to Cook, who's on the cusp of the centre circle, works it wide into a left wing position. Kirkes has come up on the inside of Dongo Watara, but just befuddled himself there and ended up kicking the ball against one foot and going out off the other, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side, and it remains 1-0 to Bournemouth. The goal coming from Antoine Semenyo after just 2 minutes. A lovely finish by him, and I thought it was really interesting actually. 112 shots he's had before tonight, more than any other player in the Premier League. That's pretty impressive, and I think it says a lot about Bournemouth actually. I think they're the second most shots of any club in the division this season. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone talks about Haaland and Salah. If you look, the guys who take the most shots normally score the most goals. The law of averages just works in their favour. But Semenyo, at times I've been critical of him because I think he can, instead of taking a shot, lay somebody in. But he's very goal driven and very, once he sees a goal, he's definitely going to go and have a shot. But he's a wonderful player. I've played against him many times, Sam, when he was at Bristol City. I don't think anyone would be able to say they expect him to be this good when he come into the Premier League. We knew he had the talent, knew he had the raw ability, but the way he's conducted himself in the Premier League, maybe it's the fit of Bournemouth, but he's been a sensation this year, and I don't even think they paid anywhere near as much as he probably is worth now. Yeah, they may end up having to fend off offers for him in the summer. Ball bounces inside the Fulham half of the field. Bournemouth have got it back again. Tyler Adams was challenged by Robinson, but it went back to Smith on halfway. Iraola just coaching Dean Housen, bellowing at him from the near touchline as the ball goes out the other side, and Ouattara just tried to draw Castagna in and then spinning, but Castagna was alert to that crafty move, picked it up right side of the defence and now moves it forward. But again, Pereira can't get away from Senesi because he's right up his backside, couldn't take the ball in. It goes through to a black and red shirt, and it's cleared away by Kepa Arrizabalaga. They are black and red, by the way. Black shorts and black socks attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. White shirts for Fulham, black shorts for them as well with a red trim. There must be an odd thing for both teams to wear black shorts like this tonight. Here is Kirkes down the left-hand side, deep towards the far post. Scott with a lovely delivery. Evan Nilsson's hit the woodwork. Inside the 6-yard box, the ball was headed back from an impossible angle by Alex Scott after a wonderful cross from the left-hand side. Evan Nilsson has thumped it against the crossbar. It's the 21st time this season that Bournemouth have hit the woodwork.
What a build-up. Kirkes again running down that left-hand side. Really strong, really powerful.
Here is Berger, laying it off to Pereira, edge of the penalty area. Back to the left it goes, and now Robinson as Fulham try to respond at the other end. 17 gone, Bournemouth lead by a goal to nil, but they've also hit the bar. Bassi, as the ball's played backwards rather than forwards, and Bournemouth with everybody behind the ball here as Robinson finds Lukic. Into Berger, back to Bassi. Bassi back out to Robinson again. They need a little bit more movement if they're going to prise open this defence. Berger being trapped by Alex Scott. The ball spills to Lukic, who delivers across deep to the far post. Headed down by Sessegnon. Taken in, back towards Iwobi from Pereira. His shot is blocked by Tyler Adams. And then Castagna a little bit loose with his ball backwards, and Evan Nilsson has stappled it up, and then Ouattara threatening to escape down that far side, and Bournemouth have possession eventually after being shuffled back into their own half. A little bit of a problem here for Kirkes, who's running around in a circle after being pushed back by Sessegnon. It does eventually go out for a goal kick, but let's go back to that fantastic move. The ball out to the left-hand side to Kirkes, whose cross was pinpoint. I didn't think that Alex Scott was going to get there. When he did, boy oh boy, what a chance for Evan Nilsson to make it too. Yeah, I mean it's the only reason he ends up hitting the bar, Sam, is because as that ball gets headed down by Scott, as it's bouncing, it's coming back up, and it's really hard as a striker to keep on top of that, especially on the stretch. He gets really good contact, beats the keeper, just hits the crossbar. He hits it so well, it broke to 30 yards out, and Berger was on the counter-attack there. But I do think, just wrote a little note here, the midfield three for me for Fulham need to do a lot more. Berger's playing left to right, he's slowing the pace down too much. Lukic, who's in there to break things up, he's actually the one who's been more advanced. And we haven't even mentioned Pereira at any point in this other than him taking a corner. So that midfield three for me will be an area that Marco will be looking at, thinking we need to get a bit more dynamism in there. So don't be ashamed if you see Smith Rowe coming on before half time if it continues like this. 19 minutes gone and it's 1-0 to Bournemouth, and this is Calvin Bassett, stocky centre defender, playing it out toward the left-hand side. He feeds it to Robinson, back to Bassi again, into midfield, and the very tall and wiry figure of Sander Berger, 6'5", Norwegian, picked up from Burnley, plays it back to the right, given to Castagna, and across the back line they work it, and Iwobi does well actually under pressure for Semenyo to turn it round the corner and into the path of Muniz, who feels he was fouled by Heilsen, and the referee concurs it's going to be a free kick to Fulham. And this is another area actually where Fulham have excelled, and actually Bournemouth have really struggled, and that's getting set pieces into the box and then causing problems. And Bournemouth have if they've had issues defending, this is where some of them have been pinpointed.
Yeah, do you think there's going to be a cutaway to the bench is looking for a set piece coach, or are we going to allow the players to actually just take a normal free kick?
Well, there is a set piece coach from Bournemouth that has gone out there.
Tommy Elphick is
gone out there. I wouldn't say Tommy's an out and out set piece coach, but I think he is in charge of them. As the ball goes in towards the far post, it's headed down by Anderson, and from the diagonal ball into the area from Pereira, it was he who rose the highest, Anderson, and he nodded it into the arms of Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Yeah, just got a Bournemouth defender down. I think it is Senesi. I think he's headbutted the back of Munez's head and potentially done his nose had popped potentially, but a little bit better from Fulham. Away into the game there, you can see ball into the middle of the box. They've got three big headers and they go and win that first contact, but Marco's just calling the guys in now. There's 1, 2, 3, 5 of them over here, and he's not happy with this midfield. He's called both and two midfielders in, and he's allowing, as Marco does, he looks really calm here, but I guarantee you the words coming out of his mouth are very cutting at this moment in time.
We should be, and we knew we were going to be, in for a dash of entertainment this evening, not just because of Troy's wit and personality, but Bournemouth have conceded 2 goals in each of their last 5 top-flight games. Marco Silva's Fulham have scored at least twice in 10 of their last 14. And we've already had a goal here inside the first 90 seconds, and Bournemouth are the ones that have got it. Here is Kepa Arrizabalaga as we get back underway. Senesi has had his treatment and he is okay. He's on the ball now, just left side of the penalty area, inside the Bournemouth half, sending it long, cut out by Anderson, won by Adams under pressure from Pereira. Dongo Ouattara plays it out to the left, and Kirkes now Back to Ouattara again, and he gets it all the way back to Senesi. It's been a bright start from Bournemouth and a really crisp start. When they're in possession of the football, they move it so quickly, and that is something that Fulham haven't done when they've been in possession of the ball and looking to attack. And as a result, when Bournemouth have got their numbers back, it's been more difficult for them to break them down.
Absolutely. As you said, that crisp passing. What I am starting to see a pattern develop now. Marco's clearly told his team to go and press a bit more aggressive, but it's leaving a massive space in there for Alex Scott, who's drifted into wonderful areas. And if Bournemouth could just spot him, he will either bring Calvin Bassey out with him, which will allow a space for Evan Nielsen to run down the side, or he'll get on the half turn and then he'll be driving at that back line, which is not what Fulham don't want, because he's really good at travelling with the ball, and obviously he's got a goal in him as well. So just watch that develop as it carries on, Sam. Just when they've got the ball, he's getting into really wonderful positions, Alex Scott.
Here is Sander Berger over on that far touchline, just right in from the right side of the field. Just guides it back to Anderson, to Bassey, and then back to Robinson. Robinson trying to feed it into Sasa Lukic, who's had a bit of a Tyler Adams shadow following him around over the course of the opening 22 minutes. Bassey forward, clipping it up, away by Adam Smith. There'll be a retrieve by Semenyo, kept in by the goal scorer on this near touchline, and then shuffled back into Housen. But again, they just moved the ball one touch, making Fulham do lots of work to try and cover the ground and find a way of disrupting them. It's not an easy thing to do with Bournemouth. In fact, actually, a couple of teams in the last few weeks have had quite a bit of joy beating that Bournemouth press, finding ways to unpick them, playing over the press, or worse still, playing through it because they haven't been on it. But they look up for it tonight. They look much more coordinated and more intense.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at it, it's a really, there's no base for Fulham to build on.
Cook trying to feed Evan Nielsen after winning the ball, and he immediately looks for the Brazilian to run in behind there. He didn't quite come off, and Fulham have it back, and then they've taken the free kick quickly, given it to Pereira. He's been brought down. It's another free kick. It's currently Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get 9-4 on for Bournemouth to win the game, 6-1 for Fulham to come back and win. The draw is 3-1. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, begambleaware.org. Ball kicked long by Leno, away by Smith, further by Adams. Adams should never win a header, by the way, anywhere. His head helped it on.
But what you're seeing there in that wonderful little 30 seconds of play, Bournemouth won 4 first contacts. Started with Housen, then Tyler Adams, then Cook. Both of them probably combined are about 6 foot, because they're both very small individuals.
If they're on each other's shoulders,
exactly,
in high heels,
and they're winning the first contact, the second contact. That will be really disappointing for Fulham, because at this moment in time they're being bullied, and it's not a nice thing to say, but they're being bullied, and with the ball and without the ball. With the ball, it's being passed around with a bit more intensity and sharpness. Without the ball, Tyler Adams does a wonderful job of going and getting tight to players, but also cutting off the ball into the striker as well, because he has that dynamism to move around. Marco is pacing to our left like a tiger in a cage. I do not want to be in that place at half-time, I guarantee you that.
Sessegnon has just smashed into Kirkes, and he's caught him in the face by accident, I think, and that's going to be a free kick to Bournemouth about 8 yards inside the Fulham half of the field. It's about 10 steps in from the left touchline. Lewis Cook's going to preside over the free kick, and that's just sort of encouraged the likes of Senesi and Housen to motor forward to try and disrupt the Fulham back line. That back line has just been moved up a little bit as it's delivered in towards the 18-yard box. Anderson with a header away, comes back to Scott, and it didn't fall nicely for him. He's kicked it, but Evan Nielsen has kept it alive, and it's hit the defender Castagna, gone behind and away for a corner. There's some half-hearted attempts by the Bournemouth supporters to raise the referee's awareness to what he thought was what they think is a handball, but his hands were very much tightly into his body, Timothy Castagna, although it did take a flick off the forearm. He's out for a corner.
FA Sam in full effect again, not going against the referee before he's even seen a simple, another even replay, just the referee was right.
Was it right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends.
Kirkes to take the corner kick on the near side, left-footed. It's a deep one towards the far post. Housen gets up there. It drops for Tyler Adams. It's blocked by Anderson. Spirals over the top of the crossbar and out for a corner kick on this near side.
Really good ball in from Kirkes. They've identified that back post. Try and keep Bassey and Anderson out of there, because they have three big men in zone marking for Fulham. They're trying to miss that to the back post. As it breaks down, it's a wonderful block, but it does feel there's another goal coming for Bournemouth here, and Fulham need to be really careful over these next 5 minutes.
Kirkes is going to take it again. And there's lots of movement inside the box. Again, Housen is trying to get free at the far post. It comes out on the edge of the area for Cook to strike it on the volley. And he didn't quite get the direction behind it this time. And it goes fizzing behind into the Boscombe end. And it's away for a goal kick.
Yeah, they've got real problems, Fulham, at these set pieces. Marco now screaming at Alex Iwobi to our left to stop going inside, ring off the edge of the box. But as that ball gets headed back out, it drops to Lewis Cook, and the technique to hit it on the half volley is really good. Just misses the post to the far right hand side. But again, it feels like Fulham need to be careful over these next 5 minutes, because Bournemouth are running away with it.
Yeah, but it's only 1-0, and while it's always still a narrow, slender lead, Fulham will have hope of coming back and getting into the game, especially bearing in mind Bournemouth's recent record. And Marco Silva might make adjustments at half-time too, especially if the scoreline remains the same. This is Lukic. Oh, it's a poor ball cut out by Cook. Although I said it was a poor ball, Cook did brilliantly to win it. Here is Evan Nilsson holding it up superbly, playing it out to the left-hand side. Guitar edge of the area, waiting for Kirkes to arrive. Sessegnon was there to help out the Fulham defence, and it was a necessary intervention by the former Tottenham man. Cleared upfield by Pereira. Lovely back heel into Berger. Slips past Senesi. Chance to break for Fulham now. And then he was looking too much at the right-hand side, waiting for Sessegnon to come up to him. And Adams went in and pinched the ball, but I think the referee's given a free kick on the edge of the centre circle.
He's given a free kick against Tyler Adams. I don't think this is a foul. I think he slips Berger as he's running through. He breaks away. He takes an extra touch when he doesn't need to, but he looks like, to me, he slips just watching the replay. See, slips on that left foot there, and he actually goes into Tyler Adams. And then that's where they're given the foul. Really fortunate for Fulham, but they had an opportunity to break there, just didn't capitalise on it, taking one too many touches.
Bassey into Lukic. He's just over the halfway line, left-hand side. Bassey again. Now Lukic trying to drive through a gap. He does go down that left-hand side of the penalty area, then chops back in onto his right foot. Good run by Lukic. Needs to release someone. Fizzes it in towards Sessegnon. Wasn't easy to deal with. Half cleared by Bournemouth. Ouattara picks it up left side of the penalty area. Castagne's going to win it back though for Fulham and turn the screw again. Nearly half an hour played. It's Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0, live on TalkSport on this Monday night. Here is Berger slipping it towards Sessegnon. Sessegnon looks as if he was trying to draw the foul there from behind. Senesi engaged, got something on the ball, flicks through the Kepa Balaga, and it will be cleared away by Bournemouth.
Interestingly, for down on Fulham's bench, they've just sent out Harrison Reed, Emmanuel Smith-Rowe and Tom Kearney. So clearly Marco's seeing exactly what I'm seeing, that this midfield three is not doing what it needs to do. It feels to me like Lukic is trying to have a little bit more influence in the game, where he's physically running forward or putting in a big tackle like he did there. He's getting frustrated with how this game's going at the moment. He's trying to have a little bit of an impact on it.
Well, I thought first of all the run that he did was excellent and really unsettled the Bournemouth back line. He just couldn't find the pass at the vital moment after getting into a really good position. The tackle, I thought it was a little bit fortunate not to pick up a yellow card.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. But I think it's because he's gone through the legs of Scott there instead of making contact with the leg. But he has, if he would have made contact with the legs, he would have been in for looking at potentially a red card, because he's gone straight through the back of him.
The 1-0 to Bournemouth, live on TalkSport, and there's lots of football coming on TalkSport over the course of the next few days, including tomorrow night we're around the grounds with Adrian as we bring you all the updates from the Champions League and the EFL. Wednesday night, what a night we've got for you. Two massive fixtures. Newcastle against Crystal Palace is on TalkSport 2. Huge in the race for the Champions League. Oh, that's a mistake. Given away by Senesi, and Munoz is escaping, and he's got support from Pereira. He goes for goal instead and misses the target. What a chance for Fulham to equalise. Well, they had it safe on the halfway line, Senesi and Housen. They got in each other's way. Muniz stepped in. He went racing away to the edge of the box, and instead of passing it simply across the 18-yard box to Pereira, who was completely free, he went for goal and missed the target, Troy Deeney.
It's really, do you know what, I'm just watching the replay there, Sam. In his defence, he can't. Really poor for the two centre-backs for Bournemouth. But Muniz does really well, gets across Senesi there. Just as you see the replay from his angle, it's really difficult to put Pereira in, but he's got to hit the target there with a free shot inside the 18-yard box.
Semenyo down the outside of Robinson into the penalty area, thrashed it through the box, comes back to Wataru, who stopped it brilliantly. The shot is blocked by Castagna, and it's cleared away over on the far side. But another brilliant piece of play. Muniz picks it up halfway, exchanges passes with Pereira. He's trying to get the wrong side of Senesi. He's got the better of Senesi. Now he's inside the penalty area. Can he produce a cross? Iwobi's at the far post. Sessegnon turns and shoots. Gets it back a second time. Shoots again. Lukic with an effort. Deflects off the back of Alex Scott. Will drop inside the penalty area here. Muniz making a nuisance of himself. The ball is still inside the area. Muniz hooks it towards goal. And it's saved by Arriba Balaga. Well, Lewis Cook went down there thinking he was going to get a free kick, and the referee said, no, you play on, mate.
Excellent referee for Michael Oliver. You know I'm the first one to have a referee. Lewis Cook has tried to buy that. It's embarrassing, but just going back down this right-hand side, Semenyo has got Robinson on toast. Every time he gets him, he stands him up left and right, goes down that byline and fizzes a wonderful ball into the box. Unfortunately, Fulham end up getting their bodies in the way, but Semenyo on this right-hand side is having a field day, and Fulham are going to have to be really careful of that, but Bournemouth are really going for it now, and it's opened up into a great game.
He's got space on the left-hand side. He's been played in by Lukic. He's on the edge of the area, and he didn't get his ball in quick enough, and Scott came across and put it out of play and away for a corner kick. But what a really good spell of football we've seen from both teams in the last 5 minutes of this game, Troy. It's opened up a little bit. They've upped the intensity, Fulham, and that's caused Bournemouth a few issues.
Yeah, man, and they've been a bit more decisive with the ball as well, a bit more clinical, a bit more deliberate with their passes. You just feel that they've got to be a bit better in this final third. I keep saying I can see some changes coming, Sam. I really can.
Here's the corner on the near touchline for Andreas Pereira to take, the Brazilian. He'll hit it right-footed. It's deeper, this one, towards the far post. Headed down by Muniz. And straight into the arms of Kepa Arrizabalaga, who makes a save. It's a good delivery by Pereira, swirling one to the back post, and he got up well, did Muniz, and he hit the target this time.
Yeah, Lewis Cook does really well because it's a worked one from Fulham, so they pushed everyone under the ball. They've all got blockers to allow Muniz to get round the back. Lewis Cook just spots the danger, just runs at him, and just jumps to try and put him off the header, and the fact that he does put him off the header stops a goal, in my opinion, because Muniz is 6 yards out, and it'd be a free header at goal.
You're listening to Bournemouth versus Fulham on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs, with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months. This is TalkSport, and we are here in the Premier League with these two teams, Bournemouth and Fulham, hoping to get enough points on the board and move up enough places that they will qualify for a European tour of sorts next season, whether that's in the Conference League or the Europa League. I think most likely Conference League for one of them, but certainly I don't think they'll mind too much about that. Lovely little spin by Ouattara, and then he tried to release Seven Ilson straight away, and there was brilliant alertness from Anderson that stopped them from escaping. Iwobi and Sessegnon just switched wings for a moment, and as a result of that, just slightly out of position as Smith comes down the right-hand side and beats Sessegnon, gets into the area, Robinson recovers and gets across Smith, puts it out of play and away for a corner. And Bournemouth once again on the front foot.
I think it's a deliberate switch from Fulham to have Sessegnon doubling up with Semenyo. They changed it a minute or two ago. But again, wonderful play from Bournemouth. The front players are just moving excellently well, and Scott just keeps getting to these wonderful positions. So Fulham need to hang on here. For as much as it's been a good 5-10 minutes for them, they need to hang on and not go in 2-0 down.
Hull 0, Coventry 0 over on TalkSport 2 right now, keeping up with the Championship, where Coventry desperately want to get into the playoff places. Here's Kirkes' delivery, deep to the far post, headed away by Bassi, over the top of his own crossbar and out for another corner out the other side. Coventry currently in 6th position with 63 points, 3 points above both Middlesbrough and West Brom. But if they were to win today, and Millwall too, if they were to win today, they'd have a 5-point cushion and go above Bristol City as well. Here is the Corner over on the far touchline to be taken by Lewis Cook. In between the junction of where the Fulham fans are and the Bournemouth supporters behind the goal. He takes it short, then whips it to the far post, but it's too much, and it goes over the top of the crossbar, looping over the top of Bernd Leno's crossbar and floating away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. There's a picture up in the corner of Eddie Howe. Our best wishes go to him tonight. He has suffered with pneumonia over the last few days. He's been getting the best of care. He's not going to be available to be on the touchline during that game between Newcastle and Palace. We're bringing you on TalkSport 2 on Wednesday night. A big part of the Bournemouth history, a big part of the Bournemouth story. In fact, probably the biggest part of the Bournemouth story. And I'm sure they wish him the best too. Here's Sessegnon, far post from Iwobi's cross. It was a deep one which Sessegnon rose and headed and should have scored the equaliser from, because he peeled off Senesi, got himself into a perfect position, athletically rose into the air, and when he headed the ball, he headed it straight at Kepa.
What a ball from Alex Iwobi, and just that lovely lofted ball just over the backside. And as a striker, you love that because you can go and just attack it. Unfortunately for Sessegnon, headed is not a strong suit, and he just headed it straight at Kepa. If he anywhere left or right, it was the equalising goal for Fulham.
Anthony Robinson's having a real problem on this near side, especially when Semenyo and Evanilson get together and gang up on him. It's almost a little bit like bullying. Senesi out over on the far touchline, but both teams have had opportunities. Bournemouth to further their lead, Fulham to get back on level terms. Here's Kirkes looking for Scott, blocked off by Bassi. Leno will retrieve that, but it's been a good game. 38 gone, and it's still 1-0 to Bournemouth. And Marco Silva is now no longer in his technical area. He's invented a new area of the pitch. He's come halfway down the touchline to have a word with his defence as it goes up towards Muniz. Gets a push in the back from Housen, and he is he's looking digital. That's how I'll explain it. He's trying to tell Sander Berge exactly what he wants via the medium of charades. I think he's got his point across now.
It's a scary one as a player when he goes from this really wonderful English that he has to angry Portuguese. You can't work out what he's saying, but you know he's angry, so you have to just nod your head and say yes sir, but you have no clue what he's on about. But in this situation, what I think he's trying to get the message across to Sander Berge is Bernd Leno took the ball really high, and all he had to do then was just roll it out to Berge, and they could get going on the front foot. But because Berge's had a poor first half, he's not hiding, but he doesn't want the ball in those tighter areas because he doesn't want to make a mistake. So it's really interesting dynamic in this midfield. I know these are his midfield of choice, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a change at half-time or very soon after, because this midfield's being overrun at the moment.
Here's Evanilson, lured back heel into the path of Semenyo, past Robinson. It's lofted towards the edge of the box. Ouattara was gunning down Castagna, who managed to head the ball clear. It breaks in the midpoint of the Fulham half of the field, and Pereira will bring it clear. It's picked up on the left-hand side by Robinson, who exchanges passes with Iwobi. Back in field they go to Sander Berge now. He charges through the centre circle, looks up, needs to find the pass, but he's held onto the ball maybe a little bit too long. Eventually gives it to Sessegnon, who's testing himself now against Kirkes. He goes down the outside, Kirkes comes across, puts it out, and it's away for a goal kick. Them off Sessegnon last after the two tangled, and then Kirkes trying to increase the volume away to our left-hand side, and he's doing that successfully with the Bournemouth fans, who have been very happy with what they've seen in the opening 40 minutes.
Yeah, excellent defending from Kirkes. He's backing himself for pace going against Ryan Sessegnon. He's showing him the line. As Sessegnon does that, he works his feet so well. Runs it, makes a good tackle, plays it off Sessegnon, and then a little normal defender's routine now, isn't it? Let everyone know he's made a tackle and celebrate together.
You were right when you said earlier on, though, about the performances of Bournemouth have been pretty good. If you go back over the last 4 games, you can tell that by their XG. They've had the better XG in on all 4 of those matches, despite only taking 2 points, which shows you how many opportunities they create, but also I think shows you that their weakness lies in defence, where they've had a few problems. If they can keep a clean sheet today, then they'll be absolutely delighted. It will mean 3 points for them because they lead by a goal to nil. And also, by the way, there is a restaurant, a local restaurant here, an Italian restaurant, that we're advertising earlier on the digital advertising boards. This is how badly they are in defence. The El Mapino, an Italian restaurant, offers 50% if Bournemouth keep a clean sheet. 50% discount if you order via Uber Eats if Bournemouth keep a clean sheet.
One thing you didn't see at the bottom in the T's and C's was it closed at 5 o'clock.
I think they don't have to worry about that because Bournemouth's clean sheets are few and far between. Here is Adams trying to help it on towards Evan-Nilsson, and then Bassi trying to wrestle with Evan-Nilsson, who's a proper handful, isn't he? I mean, he really is. Joined from Porto in the summer. He's had a brilliant first season in the Premier League.
I think he's a really talented player. Again, injured, but when you just look at him now, he moves well, he jumps in the air well, he looks after the ball well. Southwell's running in behind, stretches the team, and he's got a goal in him. When you look at modern day strikers, but there's not so many of them around, he'd have to be in the top 5 in the Premier League at this moment in time.
Scored 6 of the last 8 goals in all competition that Bournemouth have scored. Berger moving forward with it, eases it into the path of Iwobi. Now on to Sessegnon. Sessegnon trying to run towards the edge of the box, blocked by Smith. And that's a Sessegnon.
Yeah,
I had him in my mind then, Sessegnon, because he had just switched wings again. Robinson produced the cross. It bounces off Smith and goes out for a corner away to our left-hand side.
As you're the best in the business, I didn't want to tell you made a mistake, but you got that one wrong, mate.
It just gave me a Marco Silva glare. Here is the corner. Andreas Pereira, right-footed, deep towards the far post. It's back by Berger. Berger then recycles it into a congested area. Robinson went towards it, flicked away by Ouattara. Was well defended eventually by Bournemouth. Pereira back into the centre, hits Berger in the face. Didn't expect it coming, I don't think, and then ended up colliding with Ouattara. Evan-Nilsson tries to help it out to Adams. Adams looked to help it over the top of the defender, didn't get there, and then Senesi eats up the ground and charges into Anderson. And I don't know whether or not he's going to give a free kick here, but Anderson certainly thinks he is, and he's holding the bottom of his shin, and it's a yellow card back for Senesi. I'll be interested to see that again, Troy.
Just watching it now. Yeah. To be fair, it's a good tackle, but the way he lunges in and he wins the ball. This is
starts all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is what we call in a game as fair game, because you tackle the top of the ball, knowing that you're going to kick the ball away, but you're going to take a bit of the man as well. I know people don't like to talk about that, Sam, but us footballers are a little bit nasty at times as well when we want to be. And he's just left a little bit in there to let Anderson know that we're here to play, and Anderson's not too happy, but I'm sure he'll be up in about 5 seconds.
It's a little bit high, isn't it, this? Because he slides in, he does get a little bit of the ball, but he does plant his foot on the bottom of the shin. And there wasn't the excessive force that might well have engendered a higher punishment.
Great tackle. It's a great tackle. And you know the problem is with Anderson, if it's the other way around, he would have loved to be able to do that on the other way.
Well, Senesi's got a yellow card as a result of it, and Fulham have a free kick. And at this juncture, 44 minutes in, if there was to be a Fulham equaliser here, he may then well regret it. Here is the free kick over on the far side. Pereira to take it, right-footed, and Bassi rose but missed the header, and it comes back out to Alex Scott after they managed to clear. And now Ouattara's got the chance to escape on the halfway line. He needs some support. Evan-Nilsson is arriving. He holds it up brilliantly, Ouattara, because he was running out of room, and then evades the challenge of Lukic and sends it to Cook, who then finds Semenyo. Semenyo on the near touchline, cuts infield, plays it back to Cook. Up to 45 minutes, we're about to get added time. Cook goes round the outside, sends a cross into the centre, and Evan-Nilsson was diving towards it, so was Scott. It eluded them both. Back in from Kirkis to the far post. Robinson away, comes back out as far as Adams. Adams over towards the near side. Cook sets it back for Smith. His cross is deep towards Ouattara. It's over his head. Sessegnon away. Again, only as far as Adams. We're going to have 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half on TalkSport. Back in it goes from Senesi, away by Lukic. Still they can't get it clear. Adams into Cook. Cook will get it back to halfway, and the pressure will come off for a second for Fulham, who really were under the pump then.
Yeah, but it's really, really good play from Ouattara on that opposite side. As he turns back and looking after it, he just drops the shoulder. Two Fulham players go to the right, and he just sprays it out to the left and gets Semenyo away again. It just feels that they've just got a little bit more vibrancy in that attacking third than in Bournemouth than they do at Fulham. But the front players are just, they're what we come to see. They're exciting. They're not afraid to go past people, and it's excellent to see. And they just rotate. As we look down now, we've got Alex Scott on the right, Semenyo in the 10. They're not afraid to move positions as well, because they're confident that they won't lose the ball when they've got it.
They're brave, they're dynamic, they're productive, and they could have been further ahead in this game, having hit the crossbar as well. Here's Scott, gets a lovely bounce, then shoots towards the near corner, and it's narrowly wide of the post. And I think the fingertips of Bernd Leno have stopped Alex Scott from doubling the Bournemouth advantage. A lovely running from the near side. He got a little bit of a lucky bounce. It came back to him, but as soon as it did come back to him, he thought, I'm having some of this. And he smashed it towards the near post, and it was Bernd Leno who got down smartly.
He's earned that look, though. He's coming off this right-hand side, looking to slip Semenyo down the side of Bassi. It hits Berger, and because he's continuing his run, it just breaks him, and he gets that lovely shot off. It's a great save from Bernd Leno to his left.
Here's the corner to be taken by Kirkes, near touchline. A left-footed ball. Whoa, he's overhit that just a little bit. It's gone right out the other side, and I think, well, he hasn't let it go for a goal kick, certainly not. Has he? Yeah, he has now gone out for a goal kick. Or is it an offside play? Either way, that's going to be the end of the first 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes which started as quick as a flash, with Semenyo scoring inside the first 90 seconds. Bournemouth haven't won 3 consecutive home league games against Fulham since 1931. And if they do that today, they'll probably cause a few problems for Fulham's European ambitions. But when the Cherries hit the front, the lead changes hand almost as regularly as it did at the Masters yesterday, so no one's counting their chickens yet. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Well, it's Bournemouth who have made the first change. Ilya Zabani, who was left out, hasn't managed to complete 90 minutes in any of the last 4 games before today, was left out from the start today and replaced by Senesi, is on at half-time for the same player. So it's a bit of a rejig at the back. It means that Bournemouth, who took the lead after 90 seconds of the first half, attacked the goal away to our left. The Steve Fletcher stand in black-bodied jerseys with red stripes, black shorts, and Fulham in white jerseys with black shorts attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. Arina Balaga is the goalkeeper. Smith, Zabani, Housen and Kirkes the back 4. Cook and Adams are the 2 holders. Semenyo, Scott and Ouattara behind Evan Nielsen, who was a real thorn in the Fulham back line and has just seen his legs go from underneath him as he was challenged by Lukic to play on, says the referee, as Ouattara tries to feed Scott edge of the penalty area, and then it goes back to Anderson and a chance maybe for Sessegnon to break on this near side, but snuffed out by Housen, who read that perfectly, intervened and then played it infield to Kirkes, who's just dropped into a more central position, and then Adams guides the ball back towards his goalkeeper deep inside his own half. But interesting change at half-time. Senesi on a yellow card, and maybe Andoni Iraola just thinking to himself, just protect him a little bit there.
Yeah, and also he was the one who lost his man for the Sessegnon header as well. So maybe just a couple of little occasions where the manager's not feeling confident, especially when they haven't kept a clean sheet in a while as well. Let's just not give Fulham any lead of trying to get a man sent off. Surprisingly, Fulham no changes, but I would expect people out. You look to our left, they've got 5 players out warming up. So clearly Marco's giving it 5-10 minutes before he has to make changes.
Coventry City have taken the lead away at Hull. An own goal from Charlie Hughes has put Coventry in front just 3 minutes into the second half at Hull City this evening. That's over on TalkSport 2. By the way, if you want to download our app, you can flick between the 2 stations. Fulham here, Bernd Leno in goal, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson. That team that hasn't been changed from the first half. Lukic and Sanderberg, Pereira, and here is Sessegnon, who's part of the attack with Iwobi over on the far side, gets into the penalty area, gives it to Robinson, pops it through the box, but he just sort of tried to just nudge it into an area, hoping that someone was on rushing. They weren't, and it's cleared away, raced away by Semenyo over to the far side.
Does feel like Fulham have had a bit of a rocket though, doesn't it? They've come out with a bit more intensity, playing forward, playing quicker, and then get that ball down that left-hand side to Robinson. He's always the outlet. And typically, as I say that, he lets it go and he's footed out for a throw-in. Brilliant.
Who has played the ball rather simply there by Lukic, and then it just sort of travelled between his legs and underneath his feet, and there was a few cheers from the Bournemouth supporters over on the far side, and it goes out for a throw-in to the home team, Bournemouth, who took the lead after 90 seconds through Semenyo, and actually played with a zip and a further that I think Fulham struggled to cope with, but they did come into it as the game went on, as the first half went on, and a few of the Bournemouth supporters actually were saying to me at half-time, oh, this has got 2-1 Fulham written all over it, because they've seen their team drop so many leads over recent weeks, and it's important actually that they try to retain a little bit of confidence, build that back up again, and if they can get a 2-goal lead in this game, then maybe they'll feel a little bit more confident about hanging on it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel the tension and the nervous energy in the stadium already. I do think you have to look at the benches as well. I think Fulham have got more options and more variety off the bench, both from an attacking point of view and a formation point of view. So for Bournemouth, they'll have to keep going and keep being aggressive and try and get that second goal. They can't afford to sit back, because if they have to make changes, unfortunately they haven't got the quality that Fulham have.
Castagna tries to skip away from Cook, plays it back to Lukic and then on to Iwobi. Iwobi dead centre of the Bournemouth half. He's overhit the ball now towards Robinson. And here's an issue, because it looks as if Evan-Nilsson has just picked up an issue off the ball. He's holding the top of his right shoulder, and I don't know whether or not he's had a collision with Castagna or Anderson, but he has gone down clutching that right shoulder, the Brazilian forward, and immediately the medical staff come running onto the pitch to give him some attention.
Yeah, just looking at him here on a TV monitor, looks like he's maybe landed funny on the top of the shoulder. It's not dislocated, which is obviously a good one, but there's no real grimace in his face as it's being manipulated by the physio. So hopefully he'll be up in a few seconds and back to business.
Okay, well, the ball is out on the far side. He's just coming over to the near touchline, having got a whack on that shoulder. You wouldn't have been surprised actually if Fulham had played the Boomtown Rats in the dressing room at half-time.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's a band from the early 80s. They're not your bag, no? Bob Geldof.
Considering that I was born in 88, Sam, that's probably the wrong person.
You know, you listen to music, right, though? It's a famous song, the Boomtown Rats, I Don't Like Mondays. You've heard that? You must have done.
No, but I'm going to take your word for it, and the fact that Adrian Duran to my left is pulling faces, I will maybe listen to it on the way home.
Yes, I think you should, actually. Okay. I think it'd be right up your Strasse. Fulham have won 3 of their last 21 Premier League away games played on a Monday. I won't be too happy if they continue that trend this evening. Ball sent back by Bassi all the way to the edge of the 18-yard box as we get back underway here. Evan-Nilsson preparing to come back on, having taken some painkillers, I think, there on the touchline.
Every player's best friend, those painkillers.
Across to Calvin Bassi, into Iwobi. Back infield it goes to the centre circle, and Berger. Berger looks up, he's got room to run into. Waits, takes a couple of steps and plays a dreadful ball out towards his near side, way in front of Castagna. Radar's a little bit off for Sander Berger tonight.
Yeah, he's having a poor game, taking too many touches. That was a simple 10-yard pass, and he's fired it between Castagna and Sessegnon straight. It's one of those ones where if you were trying to hit it in the worst place possible, you could never do it, and somehow he managed to do it. And it just feels that until Fulham get hold of that midfield, the two City midfielders get on the ball and dictate it, they're going to be in for a long night.
Looks to me as if Milos Kerkez had committed a foul throw on this near touchline, but the ball barely went anywhere near his head, let alone behind it. Here is Lukic running a bit too much speed and lost his feet. It looked as if he was going to career into Zabani. Got away with it. Zabani's got it back again just short of the halfway line, right at the centre circle. Run into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Had to go back to Adam Smith, who shuffles it back to his goalkeeper in Kepa Arrizabalaga, who on loan from Chelsea has had a reasonably good season. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. He has made the odd mistake, and when he has made a mistake, it's tended to be a costly one. Always the way with goalkeepers. Dango Ouattara sends it clear down the left-hand side, then wins it off Sessegnon and aggressively runs forward. He's got space on the far side for Semenyo, and he shapes the ball into his path. Semenyo now trying to take on Iwobi. He comes on the inside, then goes on the outside. He's got support arriving in Smith, gets it back Semenyo, then in turn turns it into Tyler Adams' path, and they just slow the attack here a little bit, Bournemouth, just to keep hold of possession, to make sure that they've got the options when necessary. Evan-Nilsson back on, receives it, but it was coming back from an offside position, and the free kick given to Fulham, and the Bournemouth attack is frittered away. 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Very frustrating for The Bournemouth manager is down in front of us to our left-hand side there. He's looking at his team, and Iraiola's asking his players to go from the right-hand side for Semenyo out to his left-hand side, but they went back into the same avenue, and unfortunately Evan Nielsen was offside. But Bournemouth starting this second half a lot better than I thought they would. I'd expected more from Fulham, but it's been more of the same, and this Fulham fan base, as you can hear, trying to just get some life and some energy into it. But as Anthony Robinson's got the ball on this left-hand side, look, there's no options for him to throw it to. The two midfielders stood behind, getting marked, not trying to move and get on the ball. It's a real problem for Fulham moving forward.
Here's Bassey from the throw-in, which was taken deep inside Bournemouth territory. Tossed back to Bassey, then Anderson, and then Anderson's ball forward is a poor one. He's given it straight to Kirke as he races up the field to the halfway line, and Bournemouth are now on the attack. And Ndongo Ouattara, just tight from the touchline, plays a good ball into Scott, edge of the area, takes it well, went to pull the trigger, and then was challenged by Anderson. As a result of that, he couldn't get a decent effort on goal. It went behind and out for a goal kick. And he's gone down, Scott, having been engaged by Anderson. And referee Michael Oliver just checking on that. I think they're going to make a couple of changes here. Raul Jimenez and Tom Kearney coming back from warming up away to our left-hand side. They might be the changes.
Yeah, I'd expect it to be, obviously, Muniz up top, like for like. He's offered very little in terms of the threat running in behind it. They must need that to back this Bournemouth team off.
Oh, they've given the ball away again, and Adams has picked it up, been played in by Cook. He looked to get it through, he's got it back to the left, and now Ouattara, left side of the area, sits the defender down, low shot in towards the near post, it's hit by Adams, who hits the outside of the upright, and it's cleared away. And it's another hitting of the frame of the goal by this Bournemouth attack. How many goals would they have if they'd even converted half of those chances that have hit the woodwork this season? Leno might have got something on it, but I think the frame of the goal also helped. Here is Lukic at the other end for Fulham, who trail here by a goal to nil. Anthony Robinson down the outside, pulls it back to the edge of the area. Now it's with Sander Berger. Everybody in black and red jerseys getting behind the ball and plugging all the gaps. And as the ball comes in from Iwobi, it just dribbles off the toes of Lukic and deflects behind and out for a goal kick away to our right. And you're listening to Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Bournemouth versus Fulham live right now. Search Now Sports.
Just watching the replay of that chance there, Sam. As he gets cut back, it's a wonderful hit from Tyler Adams. It's an unbelievable save with his feet from Leno. Gets real good purchase on it as well. Gets it out of the danger area. But Fulham got 3 subs down to our left-hand side, ready to come on. It's clearly a frustrating first half, and then an extra 10 minutes into the second half. It looks like Traore's down there now coming on. Raul Jimenez and Tom Kearney all looking to come into the game.
Well, it's a basic changing of the cast, because Rodrigo Muniz is going to go off. Sessegnon is going to go off. He's got the ball down the outside. Zabani is dealing with him rather easily. And the other change is going to be Sander Berg, who I don't think we're too surprised about. He's going to be replaced by Tom Kearney. So it's going to be big changes for Fulham as they try to drag themselves back into this game in the second half. What difference do you think they will make, Troy?
I think with the obvious one with Sessegnon and Traore, real pace, power, directness. Listen, Adama's pace is known for everyone. It's that end result. Can he have that bit of quality at the end? Sessegnon has had a game where he's flitted in and out. Munoz has done nothing as a striker. It's really disappointed, but I think when you look now at Berg, sorry, I've got to tell the viewers this, the listeners this, they've just let it be known that they're making changes, and Sander Berg...
No, they've got it wrong. I think they've got it wrong. Sessegnon is going back on the field of play, having been substituted because they've got it wrong. So the referee is saying, no, he's already been taken off and been replaced by a player, so he can't come back on. Traore was brought on for Sessegnon. They put the wrong forms in. Marco Silva's gone and got Sessegnon out of the dugout and thrown him back on the pitch.
Wow.
And now they're saying, no, you can't come back on. Marco Silva's going absolutely balmy. Someone's made a mistake, whether that's the fourth official, who is Tim Robinson, or whether it is one of the assistants. But Marco Silva physically picked up Sessegnon and put him back on the pitch. You were about to tell a story where Sander Berger wasn't even paying attention when his number was read out by the tannoy here. He didn't even know what was going on, and then he realised, he's like, oh, right, okay, I better get off the pitch here.
No, so what's happened there, where the frustration's come, is because they've done all of the changes and the numbers wrong, so that the fourth official's putting up 16 for 8 but it's 16 for 10, and then telling Tom Kearney he can't come on because the number's wrong, even though he's got the number wrong and he's put it up there. But the best part about that, and to sum up,
that wasn't the reason that Sessegnon was dragged out the dugout and put back on the pitch.
I think that's an admin error, we'll call that one, because I actually think Sessegnon would have went at right back, and I think they were going to bring Castagna off and allow it to attack down this right-hand side.
Well, he's put another set of numbers up now.
he's all over the place.
The substitutions that we told you about are the ones that have actually happened. But I don't think they wanted to take Sessegnon off. They wanted to keep him on the pitch and take somebody else off, and there has been an error. But despite the fact that the game hadn't restarted, and it was an administrative error, the referee was not for the change, and he said no, once he's been taken off the pitch and replaced by somebody else, you cannot then, according to the laws of the game,
what rule and section is that under, Sam, as you would know?
Yeah, we don't want to bore people.
But I just think that to sum up where Sander Berg is at as a player today, his number's gone up and he's looking around for who number 16 is, and it's him. And it just sums up where he's been at all day, away with the fairies and not been at this game one bit. The fact that he's lasted this long is remarkable, and he will not want to see the highlights or the clips on this one. As I'm sure Marco will definitely be showing him tomorrow morning.
Whoever it was who put the wrong number into the fourth official won't want the Marco meltdown either. There was a challenge on the halfway line on Lukic. The referee has allowed play on, picked up by Kearney for Fulham as they look to try and craft a way back into the game. The good news for Fulham, actually, despite all the sort of mishaps and pitfalls that they've had this evening, is that we've played 60 minutes. It's just 1-0 to Bournemouth, and there's every chance that they can still get something from this game.
And the difference now, sorry to interrupt you, Sam, what they have is they have players on who should be seeing it from the side, that if they play forward they can be in, although Traore just gave it away with no real need to.
Yeah, and he's giving it straight to Alex Scott, who has picked it up and taken it over towards the far side, and then Smith has turned it back into Zabarnyi. I mean, interestingly, I wonder just how frustrated Marco Silva is going to be about that Sessegnon substitution, because he clearly didn't want to take it. There would have been no harm, actually, in the referee turning around and saying, OK, if someone's made a mistake, we can change it. Would Andoni Iraola have kicked off about that?
Yeah, he definitely would have. But I think bigger than that as well, it just shows now the importance of players coming off at the halfway line. Because what happened with Sessegnon is, as soon as he saw his number, he just walked straight off the pitch to the left-hand side. And if he would have walked to the halfway line, the manager would have been able to go, actually, wait, that's a mistake, let's fix it. So I do believe that's a part of it. The bigger thing in the frustration as a manager looking on, he's got Tom Kearney and Traore. He wants them to play forward. Both times they've both got the ball, they played it backwards.
The ball sent in towards the near post, and it goes over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side from a deep free kick. There's a little flick on from Evan Nilsson that went behind. Who's responsible for it? Because the cameras keep focusing in on Gonzalo José Goncalves and Gonzalo Pedro, who is the fitness coach. Those two sitting next to each other. Here is Ouattara, away by Castagna. Bournemouth have got it back again down the left-hand side, collected by Ouattara, onto Kirkes, who's got inside Castagna, and Castagna's had to come back and knife the ball out for a corner away to our left-hand side. He just about got there.
Really good play from Kirkes again, though. He does that wonderful underlapping run there that we used to see in Eights do in the midfield, trying to get in between the right back and the centre back, but he does it from left back. Normally you see an overlapping fullback, but he cuts in on the inside really, really well.
Tavernier is about to come on. He's going to replace Evan Nilsson, actually, for the rest of the game, which I think might be a bit of a surprise. A deep ball from the corner kick towards the far post, headed away by Castagna. It's picked up on the near side by Kearney. Clearance wasn't great. One back by Cook. Cook now halfway inside opposition territory, turns it back to Housen, who leaves it. Smith then shuffles it all the way back to Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Bournemouth are in possession again. A high ball out towards the far side, the right, headed away by Bassi. Brutishly got up there and thundered the ball out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. Calvin Bassi, he and Anderson have started together 20 times in the last 28 Premier League matches. He's a Nigerian international, Calvin Bassi, and Joachim Anderson, who plays alongside him, has come up with some brilliant bits of distribution over the course of the last few weeks, even if he's occasionally a little bit more wobbly in a Fulham shirt than a Palace shirt. I think that's maybe to do with the personnel around him, though. Here is Adama Traore with a cross into the box. Zabani forced to try and chest the ball away. Comes out on the edge of the area as far as Kearney, and then back to the left, and Iwobi with a teasing cross, which Housen managed to watch and head the ball clear from the edge of the 6-yard box. He sort of watched it all the way, kept his eyes on it, and then managed to nudge that out to the far side and out for a Fulham throw. Here's a change. It's going to be Tavernier who comes on, Alex Scott who comes off, so somebody else has done an admin error again.
To be fair, so we're just watching down, and Iraola had turned back round and asked for it to be changed.
He asked his slip back, did he?
Yeah, because when Calvin Bassi did the header out, that's when they were going to make it. He's pulled it back in. So I was just thinking, if they take Evan Nielsen off, they don't have a natural striker there to go in. So maybe now just putting Tavernier in that 10 position, I think maybe he'll go on to the right, and then Semenyo going as that 10 and create more problems, allow him to run from all different angles.
It's good to see Marcus Tavernier back. He's been struggling with a bit of an ankle injury recently. Here is Iwobi trying to attack down the left-hand side, blocked by Smith. The ball goes out of play. Alex Scott getting a round of applause from the Bournemouth fans that are around us. The Fulham fans are trying to urge their team forward, knowing that this could be an important result. They usually do quite well against teams that are in the top half of the table. Fulham, they've got a brilliant win rate against teams in that zone. Here is Traore, back to Castagna. Castagna trying to turn it infield into the path of Tom Kearney. Kearney out towards the right-hand side. Adama Traore now looking to try and take on Ouattara. Look at Ouattara getting back to help him out, but he's beaten him, and he's got beyond him, and he produces a cross into the box, and Jimenez didn't get anywhere near it. I think he was just edged off by Zabani, but it was a brilliant run and cross from Adama Traore, who was spaced up by two Cherries jerseys and went beyond both of them, got to the bar line, produced a stunning cross.
I've been there, so when Traore kicks and runs, you're praying and hoping that he kicks it out of play, because he's so quick. The one thing I've noticed already is that he's had two crosses, both of them have been put into really good areas. Normally that final end part of his game, that last decision-making process, isn't his strongest suit, but at this moment in time, if I'm Fulham, just keep feeding him the ball, because he's getting more problems.
Iwobi, after the Jimenez flick on, starts to move into the number 10 position, leaves Tyler Adams on his backside, then gets a shot towards the far corner. It's a brilliant save up to his right by Arrizabalaga, who reacted superbly to stop the equaliser from Iwobi. A lovely little dance on the edge of the penalty area. The flick on midway inside the Bournemouth half from Jimenez set him away, and then he pulled the ball inside, then out, and with a right-footed shot, arced the ball towards the corner. Good save by Kepa.
Really good save again. Jimenez having an impact, just wins a flick on, nothing that Muniz did all game. Drops to...
Here's the corner, which is punched away by Arrizabalaga, about towards the far side, and Pereira's going to recycle it again. It's a deep one. Arrizabalaga comes and catches. There was just a moment there where, after grabbing it with his fingertips, it looked like it might squirm out, but it didn't. And it is into his chest safely, and it remains 1-0 to Fulham. Bournemouth.
Emmanuel Smith rode down to our left, looking like he's going to be coming on. I'd expect that to be for Pereira. I just thought, again, Jimenez winning a flick on, he didn't really deserve to win. That goes back to the point we said at the start of the programme, where he does a lot for the team, and again they've given it all away.
Yeah, Wobie coming forward. He's got Jimenez released on the left-hand side. His low ball into the box is too close to Kepa, who drops on it inside the 6-yard box and immediately looks to release Tyler Adams on this near touchline. It's left for Tavernier, who gets up over the halfway line, gives it infield to Ouattara, and Tavernier's got it again, and he's just tried to volley that out towards Semenyo far side, cut out by Robinson, and then sent back to Bassi. Emil Smith-Rowe about to come on for I think, what do we reckon, Pereira? Should we have a look at the admin? What are the admins saying now?
Whoever it is, just guess someone else.
Andreas Pereira is the one that's been lodged, I think, with the fourth official. Let's see who it is. It could be sub-roulette. Tom Kearney taking a bit of a gamble, and he went in late on Semenya, missed the ball and gets a yellow card.
Just think the changes for Fulham have impacted them positively, and the changes for Bournemouth have actually disrupted them and made them just fall out of sync, and they need to get on the ball a little bit more, be a bit more decisive. Interestingly as well, when Traore comes on, Kirkes is giving himself 5 yards because he knows he's quicker than him. But then now he's not playing in with the line, so that will allow for Jimenez to make the little darty runs off of the back of the two centre halves, and then could be obviously onside because Kirkes is playing him on.
Well, what a luxurious position you are in if you are Marco Silva, if you can take off your main striker and bring on Raul Jimenez, and then take off your number 10 and bring on Emile Smith-Rowe. It shows just how well constructed this Fulham squad is nowadays, and I think it's one of the reasons why they've sort of got incrementally better and better and better over the course of the last few seasons, and they are heading for the best points total, the best wins number that they've picked up since 1960. They need a couple more to reach that figure, but I think they'll get it by the end of the season. Here's Robinson over on the far side as they come forward here, chasing a deficit. 70 gone, 1-0 to Bournemouth. Dead centre of the Bournemouth half is the long-sleeved white jersey of Emile Smith-Rowe with 32 on the back. He shoves it into the path of Kearney. Kearney gives it to Lukic. There's a bit of room here to get a shot away. He gets the shot away, but doesn't get it further wide enough to really test Arida Balaga, who just drops and gratefully catches it.
Sam, look at the difference between having Tom Kearney on there, who wants the ball, who's driving into areas, and when he plays that ball forward into Lukic, they didn't do that in the first half. It was sideways, backwards. Now they're inviting pressure just with the ball and making Bournemouth be really nervous. Add Emile Smith-Rowe into that and the Traore on the right hand side, and it's just going to cause more and more problems, so you'd expect Fulham to get more creative as this game goes on.
Yep, and there's only 20 minutes to go, but Marco Silva has made the most impactful substitutes all season. It started against Brentford with Harry Wilson, it's continued. Fulham have had the most goals by subs in the Premier League this season going into this weekend. There were a couple of changes to that over the weekend with Aston Villa racking up some numbers, but they are very productive off the bench. Here's Robinson over the top from Iwobi, trying to skip back inside when he should have crossed it. It comes to Kearney instead. Kearney trying to get it across to Lukic. Lukic looking for a way out, but he's being harassed by Tavernier. There is space for Iwobi wide on the left hand side. He moves into the box, right foot. It's behind Lukic though when he plays it to him, and Tavernier will intervene and take it away to relative safety, although Castagna is trying to get Ouattara off the ball, and the referee says play on, and Evan Nilsson dives in. It comes out to the near touchline and Kirkes gets it forward. Here is Traore near touchline. Smith-Rowe. There's a little bit more intensity about Fulham now.
Yeah, too many flicks and tricks from Bournemouth as well, when they need to just look after the ball and have a little bit more character on the ball. But even the nerves now of having that 1-0 lead is starting to show for this very good Bournemouth team. A lot of back heels, a lot of flicks, and just giving the ball straight back to Fulham cheaply.
And you know what that means, by the way? Well, the nerves setting in for Bournemouth. You go back to all those games recently where they've had the advantage, look like they're heading for 3 points, and then end up throwing them away. Here's Adama Traore bullying his way into the middle of the park, and he's still running here, and he's shoved it out beautifully to Robinson. Robinson left side looking for Emile Smith-Rowe, away by Housen. Offside flag is up. It's going to be a free kick, but that's the impact that these substitutes have made. Beautiful run by Traore from right side right all the way through the middle of the pitch, diagonally into the centre, causing problems for the Bournemouth defence. And as Kepa Arrizabalaga goes down and says he needs a little bit of treatment, there is a delay to the game, maybe just to take a little bit of the pressure off. And far be it for me to suggest that cynically Kepa will be okay in a couple of moments.
Absolutely, that's one of them smart ones that have been spoken about before for the team, that when they're in trouble, the keeper just goes down. It'll probably be his ankle that's hurting or something. Knowing for a while that it just takes all the sting out of the game, because it's into Fulham's hands at this moment. The pendulum is firmly in their side of the swing, and we just have to say now, can they hold on?
Can they hold on? Well, let's have a look at the odds, because it's currently Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. The latest odds are given to us by Ladbrokes, where right now you can get a Bournemouth victory at 7-2 on. Fulham to come back and win is 14-1. The draw is 10-3, just over 3-1. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org. This is TalkSport, and Kepa Arrizabalaga just stretching out the back of that calf, up against the post, away to our right-hand side. Just now skipping away through the 6-yard box as we get back underway here, with about 18 minutes to go plus added time. Well, at their very best, what they've done brilliantly, Bournemouth, is protect Kepa really well. They've taken their eye off the ball recently, and that has led to sort of their downfall, really. No clean sheet since the start of February, which is why I think that restaurant boldly said everyone can have 50% off if he keeps one. But they are a hard grafting team, and they've been brilliant at restricting teams' chances, and they've done that really today. The set-piece defending has been a little bit off over the last few weeks, but they don't concede many goals from open play. Here is Iwobi down the left, combining with Robinson. Robinson for Fulham, now gets to the edge of the area. Kenny with a lovely cross, and Traore was trying to get in behind Kirkes, and Kirkes got something on that, but I think it was a final touch from the Spaniard. And Traore puts it behind and away for a goal kick away to our right, but Kenny again pulling the strings.
The intensity in which they're moving the ball now is so much more deliberate, isn't it? Just feel that if they can just get it a little bit better for them, that little bit of quality towards the end, that they will go on to win this game. I really don't want to put too much pressure on Bournemouth, but it feels like one goal for Fulham now will lead to 2 and 3.
Well, Wednesday night, Real Madrid against Arsenal is our focus. Newcastle against Crystal Palace at the same time. On Thursday night, 2 games from the Europa League, absolutely key, by the way. Manchester United, Lyon, Frankfurt against Tottenham, and then on Friday we've got an absolute mammoth Good Friday. It's not a Good Friday, it's a great Friday. We've got Derby Luton, we've got Game Day Live taking you around the grounds with Adrian and the team, Coventry West Brom, Sheffield United Cardiff, Oxford versus Leeds. I think it might well be a significant weekend. Easter usually is. Here's Robinson getting high up on the left-hand side for Fulham. A claims of handball are dismissed as he moves into the box now. He guides it back to the edge of the area. Kenny with a volley. He just didn't get enough power behind it to really cause Arrizabalaga a problem. And actually, when you look at the stats for this game, you'll notice that in the second half they've had a lot more shots on target, Fulham, but not enough of them have really had Arrizabalaga at full stretch, and that was another example of that.
No, they keep shooting just directly at him. I think they're focusing so much on hitting the target as opposed to going with a deliberate action to score, but they are certainly causing so much problems.
Well, the ball's gone out on this near side, and the assistant on this near touchline did not flag for a foul, which Kirkes was asking for when he collided with Traore. But Traore, I think, was so sort of confused by the fact that it hadn't been given and thought that it was a dive, and was telling the referee and the assistant that he forgot that the ball could still be kept in, and he allowed it to run out of play.
I do also think as well, though, in those moments, we've got to book players. They're just diving to just try and con the referee. Just book them. It will stop it altogether.
Here is Lukic moving down the advanced right position, getting towards the edge of the area and shifting it onto Adama Traore. Everybody apart from Evanilson back behind the ball for the Cherries, who are hoping to hold on for a precious victory here. It's guided back towards halfway. Lukic looking to feed it into Emil Smith-Rowe, has made an intelligent run, gets to the byline, pulls it back inside the box away by Housen. Going to drop on the edge of the area. Castagna allows it to bounce. Kearney can't get it under control. Jimenez neither, and away by Semenyo to halfway. And then Anderson should get there ahead of Evanilson, who's charging down, and it goes all the way back to Bernd Leno in the Fulham goal, over away to our left-hand side. I forgot that there was another goal at that end of the field. All the action has been down towards our right in the last few moments.
Really resolute from Bournemouth, though, but again, sound like a broken record, but Fulham are knocking at the door now, moving it with more intensity.
Yeah, they are. And here is Iwobi into Smith-Rowe. He just laid it off for Lukic, but maybe just a bit of a heavy touch, and that took him wide. He couldn't get it under control, and Bournemouth, who are rocking a little bit, get it back to Arrizabalaga, and it will be cleared away by the Spanish goalkeeper. 13 minutes to go, and Fulham will have to be wary of the strong finishes that Bournemouth create. No team has scored more goals after 75 minutes or more than Bournemouth, and no more than Bournemouth in stoppage time as well. Second on that list, though, Fulham.
That little chance there from Emil Smith-Rowe for me is where his game's at the moment. He's trying to set a perfectly set touch there for Lukic to run onto. That was what he was doing at Arsenal. I think for his development of his game, I would like to see him take a touch on his back foot and swivel and shoot and try and get more goals into his game. But he's such a wonderfully talented footballer that his brain's ahead of where some of these Fulham players are at this moment in time. And if he wants to go and be the player that he develops, he needs more goals and more assists for his game.
Bournemouth lead by a 0-0, goal in the first minute of the game, separating those two teams. Ball thrown in. Was that another foul
one
by Kirkes?
That one was embarrassing.
Is he a little bit, taking liberties with these on this near side? Ball sent out towards the right-hand side. Ouattara trying to get the better of Robinson, who just about adjusts and gets back and defends well. And then a good clearance up to Kearney. And Kearney now trying to unleash a counter-attack. It won't be intelligent feet. And he just plays it against Cook. Did he? No, he took it out of play over on the far side.
The big switch of play is always on here. I can see Iwobi possibly coming off and Willian coming on. Just add a little bit more quality, a little bit more guile. It feels like it's there in the palm of the hands of Fulham, but just not got the composure and that final bit to go and get the goal.
Yep, well, they're coming forward again with 11 minutes to go. Traore down this right-hand side. Semenyo collides with him and the ball runs out of play. Traore was judged to have just putting it out himself and just melting too easily under pressure, and it goes out for a throw. Marco Silva's getting irate again. He got a little bit irate. He has had a bit of a thing about officials this season, Marco Silva. And I think that is going to be a familiar theme that comes up if the scoreline stays the same. And if it does stay the same, by the way, Troy, it means that Bournemouth will go up into 8th position above Fulham. They'll be on the same points as will Brighton. So 8th, 9th and 10th, Brighton, Fulham and Bournemouth all on 48 points, but Bournemouth will have a better goal difference. But significantly, I think, it means that the gap is now increased to Aston Villa to 6 points. Here comes Evan-Nilsson into the penalty area. Goalkeeper comes across, makes a save. Leno, did he just catch Evan-Nilsson as he pushed the ball away? The referee says no penalty, but the VAR will check this. Leno looks a little bit frustrated. Evan-Nilsson went down. Evan-Nilsson went running into the penalty area after a mistake, gave the ball back to Evan-Nilsson. Bassi allowing him to run across his body. There was certainly a collision, but was it enough for a penalty?
No, it's really good goalkeeping again. Bright Leno has done excellently well for this Fulham team, keeping them in with any form of a chance, but again, so poor. It's Fulham had the ball, it's a throw-in. Throw it back towards Calvin Bassi and he lets it bounce and it just skids off as the night rain comes in. It skids off the turf and goes through. For me, this would be really harsh if it's given as a penalty, but I think Bernd Leno gets a touch on it.
Does he touch the ball, Bernd Leno?
I think he does, yeah.
Well, certainly the referee is still holding the play and the VAR is looking at it. Well, I mean, it's the merest touches of the ball if he gets anything on it. Yeah, I think he does get it on his hand, doesn't he? His left hand just gets something on it. It's almost kicked against his hand. And then he goes through the player, but they then collide together, don't they? And it stays at 1-0 to Bournemouth, no penalty, no foul. 1-1 over on TalkSport 2 between Hull and Coventry City. That's just happened. And if you want to listen to that, download our app. You can flick between the two stations or ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2. Here's Tavernier, away by Cook. And again, intelligent from Tyler Adams just to allow that to run out on this near touchline, and it remains 1-0 and time ticking away.
Yeah, the Bournemouth fan base trying to get behind their team now, trying to raise this. It feels like they're sleepwalking to this victory, and that they need to have a bit more of a foothold in the game. And for Fulham, they need to crank that intensity up again for the last 10 minutes of this game.
Well, you're listening to Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, making a big move, planning a clear out. With vans of all shapes and sizes, if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Jimenez on halfway, nudges the ball to Kearney. Lovely ball out to Robinson. Robinson with a cross. It's deep towards the far post. Kirkes heads it behind, and it goes out. I think it's going to go out for a corner kick on this near side. There was a complaint there that maybe Kirkes was pushed in the back by Adama Traore. It was such a good ball out to Robinson, but the cross didn't really live up to it. There were other options, Troy.
Yeah, it was like a floaty cross. I actually would have liked to see him cut it back to Raul Jimenez in the D, because Jimenez has put the ball out there, but again, I don't think Kirkes gets that foul because of the dive earlier on. it actually was a foul on him, but because he dived earlier on, it's in the back of Mark Oliver's mind there that he goes down too cheaply.
Yeah, I think that's what the assistant on the near side was saying to him. Kenny with another brilliant ball. Here's the short corner into Kenny, inside the box. He plays it in field behind Traore, and it's kicked behind and out for a corner kick away to our right hand side. Abu Kamara, the goal scorer for Hull City. 1-1 over on TalkSport 2.
That's a really well worked set piece there from Kearney and Emile Smith-Rowe. For some reason, Traore's open in the 6-yard box and just runs away from the area.
Here is Kenny again, in towards the near post, flicked into the air by Ouattara, and he's put it behind and out for another corner, so they're going to get a third bite of the cherry here. Will it be an opportunity to bite the cherries in the backside? Because Bournemouth have led for a long time now, 82 minutes. To concede here and throw another lead will certainly be deflating. In towards the near post it goes. Evan Nilsson with the header behind, and another corner. Well, they're going to get a chance from one of these, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel like Adrian said it earlier. It's a dying art, this heading game, isn't it? Because that's 4 headers now that Bournemouth should have done.
Here is Kenny from the short corner, floated to the far post, was too high for Bassi. The idea was right again from Tom Kearney and Emile Smith-Rowe. Tomorrow morning we've got breakfast with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist, and we've also got the Sports Bar straight after us, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. 03717223344. Willian on for Lukic for the final moments.
Yeah, I can see that. Put Alex Iwobi inside. I actually thought Iwobi may have came off earlier on. Put Iwobi inside now, add some more dynamism in the middle, get him running over the back of Tyler Adams, but then it just allows for Willian to cut in, as we've seen for years, cutting in off that left hand side onto that right foot, getting shots away but also delivering that little bit of quality that only needs one chance for Raul Jimenez to get that goal.
Absolutely, and it won't be, I think if you speak to Fulham fans, they'll tell you he's been one of their better players this season. Incredibly important for them. He's actually scoring more goals than his XG by quite some distance this season. Here is Smith-Rowe, lovely touch into Jimenez, back to Smith-Rowe, and then he just couldn't get it out of his feet again, and Williams won it back well over on the far side, but Dongo Ouattara has evaded his grasp, and it's pushed forward, and he's given it away now too, and Fulham have got it back again, and no, they haven't. Oh yes they have. It's pantomime season in the middle of the park. Here is Iwobi trying to put a bit of poise onto proceedings. He takes it on the halfway line and fends the ball back into the path of Smith-Rowe's touch. Actually almost causes him a problem, but Anderson goes past Adams. It's going to be a free kick. There's a little bit of nastiness between the two. Anderson bounces up, has a word with Adams. Free kick has been given. Referee says no, you've got to come back again. Traore doesn't know what's going on, so he's running down a cul-de-sac. The referee wants to book Tyler Adams. So we'll go back and take the free kick again, I think.
It's a good foul from Tyler Adams there. That's a little nibble at Anderson, but he's just breaking up the play, breaking up the rhythm. And again, as you can hear these big cheers, you just dropped your head, mate. It's so poor from Fulham.
Well, it's Anderson, isn't it? Bringing the ball out of defence, usually a very good distributor of the football. He's just played it just too earnestly, and it's gone straight out of play.
I'm just trying to think, if you put yourself into Marco Silva's head, his changes have done well. They haven't really not been in the game, but I don't think you'll have a game this season where there's been this many individual errors. Passing the ball out of play, you name it, it's been frightening.
Well, they've had 57% of the ball. They've had 12 shots, exactly the same number as Bournemouth. They've had 7 of those on target compared to Bournemouth's 3, which shows you that they have had good quality opportunities, but they haven't done enough to test the goalkeeper. Actually, that their shots haven't been of a high enough quality, because if you look at their XG, it's lower than Bournemouth. So Bournemouth only had 3 shots on target in the game.
But again, look, the ball breaks to Alex Iwobi. Wonderful first touch, trying to get Fulham on the counter-attack, and he passes it straight to Ouattara again. It's just, I think in terms of individual mistakes, I don't think I've seen Fulham do this bad in a number of years. It's actually quite shocking, to be honest.
Willian skipping the ball forward to Kearney. Kearney helping it back through. Jimenez is there. It comes off Housen and goes out for a corner. Excellent move. Kearney with a deft touch after Williams' cute ball round the corner into the inside left channel. He hooked it back from the byline. Jimenez was arriving and Housen did enough to put him off and put it out for a corner.
Yeah, really good defending. But again, William with that bit of quality. Kearney there taking care with the touch. It feels like it's coming, doesn't it, Sam?
Willian in towards the near post, punched away by Arida Balaga, helped back in by Kearney, who keeps it alive. Evan Nilsson heads it further away. Big strong header by Evan Nilsson too. Emil Smith-Rowe's got it back. 88 on the clock. Anderson was on the near touchline. No one spotted him. Kearney apologises and they go back down the left with Willian. Willian travels with the ball at his feet. Plays it back to Iwobi. Iwobi's 15 yards back from the edge of the area. Kearney being shuffled back by Tavernier. Willian down the left side. Little poke forward by Kearney, but it's released to Bournemouth and now they can unleash the hounds. They move forward at pace. Ouattara trying to get the better of Bassi, who did brilliantly actually. Just a step across Ouattara. Did Ouattara have a little grab at his hair there? He certainly tried to sort of do something to put off Bassi, and eventually it was cleared away by Leno straight out of play. Off comes Semenyo and on comes Soler. I think that will be just to add a little bit of a layer of protection for the last few moments. He scored the only goal of the game.
Yeah, you just think now maybe move Tavernier out to that left-hand side and put Soler in there as an extra body to try and just combat this midfield, because the midfield for Fulham in the second half has been much better and dominated the game. What's they got? A minute plus injury time for Fulham to force them out the locker?
Yeah, they've got to find some way of conjuring up an equaliser. And Kearney's certainly had an influence since coming onto the pitch. So has Emil Smith-Rowe. Hasn't been as crisp with his passing, but he's certainly had an impact. And now Willian trying to do the same. Willian down the left side. He's about 5 yards in from the touchline, looking to take on Cook, who's doggedly staying with him. Back to Iwobi. Smith-Rowe has moved into that sort of zone as well. From the far left now, Willian has taken it up again. In towards Iwobi. Half cleared. Evan Nilsson's helped it back, but they've given it to Castagna, edge of the area. Jimenez has kept hold of it. Traore back out to Jimenez. Inside the area. A chance for Castagna to try and turn. He can't. Iwobi tries to stab it in towards the far corner, but the offside flag is up. And Kepa Arrizabalaga picks it up and clears it away. There's going to be 5 minutes of added time, Troy, so there still could be drama there.
Yeah, you'd feel that the Fulham just need one more chance, but I have to give Bournemouth credit, because they are just defending doggedly, and as the Tannoy announcement has just said, that man of the match for the game has been Kepa. That sums up just the dominance of Fulham in the second half, but they shall not pass is the mantra for Bournemouth. And why are you making that face?
I don't think Kepa's been stretched that much to make that many saves. I think Bournemouth as a team have defended quite well, but I don't think that he's made spectacular saves. Do you?
No, but I just think you're being a bit negative because it's a Chelsea goalkeeper that's playing well.
Deflection tactic. Here's Ouattara over on the far side, trying to canter in towards the far side. In fact, he beat a team that plays in blue and spent loads of money and didn't win.
Talking about Ipswich again.
Barney down the right hand side. Robinson manages to get it clear. Emil Smith-Rowe gets it back to his goalkeeper. It's amazing though, isn't it, what can happen if you entice people with 50% off Italian food. all those Bournemouth players are certainly on that tonight. Straight on Uber Eats, I think. Here is Castagna ready to throw it in. He gives it back to fullback in Anderson.
Have I knocked you off your stride a little bit there? Sorry, mate.
No, not at all, mate. It's okay.
You don't get this on TNT.
Here is Emil Smith-Rowe out towards the far side. Willian takes it on. It goes out towards the left-hand side, and Robinson with a deep ball to the far post. This time Arrizabalaga does brilliantly, and actually, despite the fact that there are two players coming from behind him and he couldn't see them, they collided with each other and they've brought him down as well. He's gone crashing to the ground, but safely with the ball in his hands.
It's amazing, isn't it, when a keeper takes a ball freely, especially in injury time. They just stay down for a good 3 minutes because nobody touches him here. Absolutely nobody touches him. Man of the match performance for me.
Traore was challenging for the ball. He didn't get too much contact on Kepa Arriba-Balaga, but he did land awkwardly. But they certainly did collide with Zabarnyi, who has got back to his feet now. Housen is on his feet as well, but Kirkes is now getting a little bit of a leg pull for cramp. He probably got that actually when he did that jump throw-in that he tossed in down this left-hand side.
Fair play to the Bournemouth fans behind the goal. They realise this will be a monumental win and a clean sheet that will get this Bournemouth team back on track, fighting for Europe. I think it's in the top 12 places you were saying earlier, wasn't it, Sam, for Europe?
You hope so.
But it does just feel it's going to be a monumental night, doesn't it, for Bournemouth to win this game and then move forward in their pursuit of the European places.
Well, they haven't won since the 15th of February in the Premier League, and going to do that now. It's been the longest wait for the season for a victory for these Bournemouth fans, but they are minutes away from equalling a couple of records, one for Premier League points, one for Premier League wins, and it also keeps the hope of a European adventure very much on the agenda. I think there'll be eight places in Europe next season. Well, there will be 8 places, but I think they'll be through the league, I would have thought, unless Crystal Palace win the FA Cup, which is a possibility. A 1 in 4 chance now. Ball headed away by Bassi into Raul Jimenez. Fulham can do themselves a real good service if they can get an equaliser late on. It's Robinson skipping past the challenge, but Cook just got enough on it to take it out of play. And there's a yellow card there. And it's Cook who gets the yellow card, so it was Smith with the challenge over on the far side. Referee has allowed play on, and William delivered a cross into the box. It goes through the 18-yard box and right out this near touchline and floats out for a throwing down by the corner flag. 94 minutes gone, so 1 minute to go. It was Cook on Iwobi actually, wasn't it, over on the halfway line, which yielded that yellow card for Lewis Cook, former England international. So former England international, I still hope that he can do it again. Foul by Castagna on Soler, who's come out to protect Kirkes for the final few moments. I think they're going to get over the line now, Troy, and this will be disappointing for Marco Silva for a number of reasons.
I thought he was going to tell me the reasons, sorry. Are you not going to tell me the reasons?
Well, one, the way his team conceded the opening goal in such an early moment. 2, the fact that they haven't managed to get back on the score sheet despite having a number of shots and chances, crafting chances. 3, that it's taken so long for his team to get into gear and he needed to make the substitution to do so. And 4, he's still furious with that geezer who put in the wrong slip.
Absolutely. Yeah, I also think he'll be disappointed in general with the all-round play. So as much as they've had a lot of possession, made chances to shoot, they haven't really broken down this Bournemouth team, have they? And had any one-on-ones or clear chances where we thought should score. And then towards the end, it's got very, very desperate as well. And I do feel that at this moment in time, it'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, they lacked ideas, haven't they, towards the end of the game. There's not been enough invention in their play. Then there's a lot of ball players out there, but they haven't crafted a proper opportunity for Raul Jimenez since he's been on the pitch. And that's why they're not going to win the game. They're going to lose it. In fact, the referee is just looking at the watch now. Will notice that we've gone over our 5 minutes of added time. And it's going to be another defeat for Fulham. They've alternated between wins and defeats in the last 8 games. Ball cleared away by Kirkes, into the air, Kearney forward. Housen will clear this, he just smashes his upfield. Evanilson will chase it. Anderson goes across. Evanilson is such a nuisance, and Anderson gets there, turns it round. He wants to release it forward, he's got to get it up the pitch quickly. This is going to be the last Fulham attack. Kearney, very deep inside his own half, sprays it to Iwobi, who carries the ball up over the halfway line, into the midpoint of the Bournemouth half. Out wide it goes to Robinson. They've got to get it into the area here if they're going to do some damage. Iwobi floats it into the box. Jimenez gets up with a challenge, and then Kirkes stops it from going for a corner. It goes out for a throw. One last throw. Castagna will take it into Traore. Back to Castagna. Out for Soler. Another throw. They want the referee to blow his whistle. He hasn't done so yet. Castagna into Kearney. Oh, he's put it straight out of play. They rushed it. They were desperate to get it in. They knew time was running out, and it's gone out and away for a Bournemouth throw. Dean Housen turns round to Michael Oliver and says, "You need to blow your whistle." He says to him, "Hold on, I'll decide when we blow the whistle." And it goes out for a throw, and it's a long throw by Milos Kerkez, and then the whistle does blow, and you can see why Fulham don't like playing on the first day of the week. The result at the end of another manic Monday sees them miss the opportunity to put pressure on Chelsea and Aston Villa, and you wonder whether their hopes of European football is now going to rest on the success of others. Bournemouth end their winless run as they aim to finish the season on a high. They equal the club's best ever points total set 6 years ago, and the carrot of European adventure is still being dangled all right. Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0.